Today on Dave Eats the World, I'm going to be making a classic Filipino favorite, chicken adobo. But wait, this video is going to be like all the rest of the other videos out there if I just make a plain old chicken adobo recipe. So instead, I'm going to make not one, not two, but three kinds of chicken adobo. The second and third versions are our experiment for today, using different kinds of techniques but keeping the flavor profile similar. First up is the OG. In a freezer bag, we're going to combine our garlic and peppercorn. For the soy sauce, we'll be using this coconut brand one. Add in some white vinegar, sugar, give it a little mix. Then we add in our chicken thighs. Make sure the whole chicken is covered with the marinade. Now we leave it in the fridge for a couple of hours.
2,000 years later.
Now we're ready to cook. I'm going to reserve half of the chicken thighs for our next adobo version. Dump the rest of the ingredients into a pot. Add water until it barely covers the meat, and let it simmer for 30 minutes or until soft. Now I'll be making a sauce for the second and third adobo dishes. Put in some garlic, Japanese soy sauce, apple cider vinegar, honey, crushed black pepper, mirin, and bay leaves. Let it cook for a few minutes, and my sauce is done. For my second dish, I'm going to make an adobo flavored Korean fried chicken. First, let's make the batter for the chicken. For this experiment, we're just going to use this brand of Korean fried chicken batter. I've used it a couple of times before, and it does the job. We're using around 1.5 cups of Korean fried chicken mixed to 1 cup of water. And we're ready to fry. Chop up the marinated chicken into smaller pieces. Dunk the chicken in the batter and fry it on medium heat for a couple of minutes. It already looks good enough to eat, but in order to get that signature Korean fried chicken crunch, we'll have to fry it a second time on high heat for 1 minute. And we're done. Look at that crispy, crunchy exterior. For our last dish, we're cooking this sous vide. I'm pouring over some boiling water on the skin to make it crispier. Next, we're going to rub some salt and baking powder all over to draw out the moisture. Store it in the fridge uncovered overnight. As you can see, the skin is significantly drier than before. Place the chicken in the freezer bag and cook it at 165 degrees Fahrenheit for 1.5 hours. I'm covering the top of the pot with foil to prevent the water from evaporating too fast. After an hour and a half, our chicken is ready. We're gonna pat it dry before crisping up the skin. Place the chicken in a skillet with some oil, skin side down. Put a weight on top of the chicken so that the skin has maximum contact with the pan. Now it's time to check out the skin.
It was at this moment that I knew I f***ed up.
The skin stuck to the bottom of the pan and wouldn't let go. After I've managed to dislodge it, this is what I was left with. After all that effort, I'm thinking of tossing this pan in the bin. I then try to salvage whatever little's left of the skin in the broiler. Let's have a moment of silence for what could have been. And now, here's some angry tapping. Now all that's left is to move on and apply the shellac. We've made 3 beautiful adobo dishes. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've been waiting for. It's time for the taste test. The OG is pretty good, as you'd come to expect with adobo. The sous vide one has a milder flavor and the skin is crispy. Now the KFC, on the other hand, is something special. It's crunchy, bursting with flavor, and a good pair with some rice. As you'd expect, the KFC is a winner by a mile. If I were to make one dish, it'd probably be this. The OG gets old after a while, especially if you grew up eating it. I would personally not cook this sous vide again, since there is very little difference in texture compared to cooking chicken thighs the normal way. All in all, this was a fun experiment. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.